Cool, right, I think we're live. New map for me today. The one the server's using, Iron Talon. It's the Kola map, which is the Kola Peninsula. It's absolutely huge. They kicked this map off a couple of days ago, and they've done pretty much half of it already. It's so big that it's pretty much a jet map. Helicopters are mainly used for resupplying. The Apache I can use for kind of small journey stuff, but the distances are so huge it takes ages to get anywhere. I have been on it this morning with the Chinook, just picking up some of these down pilots, mainly over in this area here on the front. We've got two F-14s flying about. My main objective today is to take out this little convoy of stuff here. It's got an SA-18 there, which is probably going to cause me a bit of an issue, but the terrain is flat, a lot more flat than Afghan and Syria. And then after I've done that, I'll probably try and resupply this place, but I don't want that sat there if we're trying to fly Chinooks around this area, because they'll just get splashed. So these F-14s are just doing a bit of a flight around this area here, just trying to stop anything that's taking off and coming this way. Last night when I jumped off, we were here trying to take this place, and they've pretty much pushed the front to the east hell of a lot. So I'm just going to try and do my little bit with the Apache. Right. So yeah, slightly different skin today as well. I've gone for a bit more of a snowy skin, because it's obviously a bit wintry here, which is a bit funny because it's like 31 degrees in the UK today. I've got a fan going in the background. Hopefully you won't hear that. So yeah, this is just a random one I got off the user file website for DCS. For the Wolverines, but it's quite a cool snow effect camo. We're going to give that a go for a bit. Get the battery on. The communications kick in. So I don't often do a full start on this because we're trying to get up and going as fast as possible, so we usually just spawn it with it all running. This is a good thing to get me used to keep doing the full starts from old. Let me know what the volumes are like in the chat if you can. It's quite a difficult thing to balance. Alright, so when that APU kicks in, we'll get George to start up his stuff. Okay, that's on.
Roger. TAD's power coming on.
Oh, he's doing his startup so I can get the engines going my side.
Helmet bore sight complete. Powering up the FCR.
In fact, we are pretty cold.
Turning on the RLWR.
So,
searching. Fixed wing.
crew.
Patriot. 2 o'clock.
Startup complete.
Air supply.
3 o'clock. Searching.
Connect.
Connect ground air supply.
Copy. Ground air supply is now connected.
Yeah, I sometimes get a fuel transfer fail if I don't have that connected in cold weather, but we'll disregard that for now.
FCR is ready.
4 o'clock. Searching.
Engine 1 is coming up nicely. Let that stabilise and then we'll go engine 2. Engine 2 coming on. I'll bore sight my iHads in a minute. Once I've got the engines up and running.
Fixed wing, 12 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 12 o'clock, searching.
The second one's coming in. Go to stick map, grid off, go coordinates of friendlies, enemies, did on as well. Threats. See, the ones I'm going after might not show up on here, but they're on the main map, so I'll kind of figure something out in a minute. Okay, so both the engines.
Fixed wing, 12 o'clock.
Both the engines are good and idling, so we'll bring them up to flight power. I'll have to keep an eye on the cross feeds. That's not working. There is random failures on this server. I don't know whether that is part of it, but okay, so we'll bore sight the iHads a bit sharpish. Weapon, bore sight, iHads. There we go, good enough. Video, TADS. Radio's set. We're going to go ground override and on.
Pausing Hellfire.
Give the MVS a quick check. Yeah. Okay, so basically that's what I'm seeing in my eyeball. And that's what I'm seeing through this MVS. That's because where I'm looking is this sensor here. So as I turn my head, that thing is moving around. If I go into external view. So that bit on the top of there is what I'm actually looking through, so the line of sight is slightly off. And that's why I'm seeing like traffic cones slightly off from where I'm actually looking. But that's good for picking out targets in dim conditions. Just going to make sure all the external lights are off.
12 o'clock, searching.
Yes, it's these are the targets I'm going after. So they are at 35W. So we want to set up a waypoint. So it's point. Let's get rid of that. Add waypoint. Waypoint W. Type. No, hang on, she's locked up. 2 seconds. There we go. WP. Enter free. That's just free text I can use. So I'm going to put TGT for target. Enter. So it's 35WMP 8591 because we only used the first 4. And 6183. 6183.
Fixed wing. 4 o'clock. Searching.
Okay, so that's 446 altitude. And we'll enter that, and that is then save that on here. So if I do a bit of a pan on this, we should see a new waypoint somewhere, which I think should be there.
Fixed wing. 1 o'clock. Searching.
So we'll go route, direct, and then we'll select that. I think that's them anyway. A map. We'll go satellite.
12 o'clock. Searching. Fixed wing. 12 o'clock. Searching.
And 3, so yeah, hopefully that should be the right, we'll find out in a minute. Right, okay, so we can get rid of that. So it's 115 degrees, 23 miles out. This is just to confirm that I've selected the right target. 23 miles. If we bring that back up. No, that's a different target. Right, okay. So map. North up. Do the pan again. It might be they're not actually showing up, but those targets should be. Let's just check the map. Yeah, they're down the river, or it goes to that horseshoe bit. So okay, so it's going to be down this way somewhere. We'll fly it by the map. I don't want to. It should be about there somewhere. Let me just check. Okay, so it should be somewhere. This is after fun sorting out where I'm actually going to fly to. So that's that first one. So the second one is there. Might actually be in the right spot. It's because the map is in miles and this is in kilometers. So yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll go with that one. I think I've got the right location. It will give me a heading when I take off. So there's a lot of these things I'm still learning, so we need to turn on the flares. So it's parts of the system to do bypass because there's a lot of Patriots been kicking off from here. I don't want them to set it off. Oh yeah, so it should be good to go. Okay, George is up and ready. Taxi forward a little bit. Get off of this crap.
Hey, what are you doing?
Air supply. See, I don't usually use the air supply, so it's bloody causing the problems. 8, 5, disconnect.
Chief, disconnect ground air supply.
Copy. Ground air supply is now disconnected.
Thank you, didn't want to yank the hose out.
Fixed wing. 12 o'clock. Searching.
Past the cones a bit quick. quite heavy. The altitude really isn't an issue, it's just the
5 o'clock.
air temperature,
Searching.
air density is going to
5
be a
o'clock. Searching. Gun.
bit of a
6 o'clock.
sod with this
Searching.
amount of weight.
Sam. 12 o'clock. Searching.
As soon as I get some speed up, we'll be okay. We're doing about 60, 70 knots now.
Patriot. 3 o'clock.
Near the
Searching.
airport. Yeah, I do like this map.
Fixed wing.
It's
2
very,
o'clock.
very
Searching.
Cold War style. Took up the Harrier last night, got my first air-to-air kill with that. Didn't really know what I was doing, but we got there. Yeah, target's over this way.
8 o'clock. Searching.
So it should be roughly, if I got the right target, it should be 115 degrees. And the map says 23 mile, which I'm assuming is going to be about 40-ish kilometers.
Patriot. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Okay, so we'll get George up and running and get him to start searching.
Rolling.
Scanning for
9
targets.
o'clock. Searching. Fixed wing. 6 o'clock. Searching. Patriot.
Okay, so the left screen is what George is seeing. He's slewing the TADs around, which is the target awareness display. Or target acquisition, some one of the two. So he's doing that.
8 o'clock.
And the right hand screen is the scrolling map. The blue icon is me. The green line, solid line, is the course I've set in, which you can see as that triangle looking thing over there. And we're about 40k away, 11 minutes. There is other threats in the area, but these are the ones that the AWACS is picking up at the minute. So yeah, I think it blends in quite nicely actually, this skin. Okay, so we'll start picking up targets probably around 25 kilometers.
Rolling. 7 o'clock. Searching.
So this is the distance to target. That's the target waypoint, which is set at
2
72.
o'clock. Searching.
That's my airspeed. That's the time to target. This is the pilot's helmet mount display. This box is the center of the aircraft as it's flying. That's my velocity vector there, and this is where George is looking for targets. So he'll, as soon as he kind of gets close enough and scans over that area, he'll pick the target up if there's anything there. I don't know how old that target data is. It's not showing as a threat, but it's showing on the main map as a threat, so we'll go and investigate that anyway.
Sam. 3 o'clock. Searching.
Yeah, it's quite windy out today. We've got 7 knots at 317 degrees. Hence why I'm flying a bit wonky. Trying to keep the velocity vector in the way I need to go. I don't want to get up too high. This here is my radar altitude. That's between me and the ground. That's my airspeed, and all this stuff up here is heading. That's the engine power. So I'm about 70% throttle at the minute, or 70% torque. Sorry. That'll go to about 150, but you don't want to be doing that for very long. The engines do not like it.
Fixed wing, 10 o'clock. Searching.
Okay, so I'm going to get George to look over in that
Roger.
direction.
Slaving. Deslave. I don't see anything.
So I'm not seeing anything yet, but that's roughly where the target's going to be. I can keep asking him to do a line of sight search in that
6
direction,
o'clock. Searching. Gun. 6 o'clock. Searching.
I don't see anything.
and hopefully he'll pick something up. If there's any targets there, sometimes the AWACS data is out of date. Or they could be just hidden by trees.
And slave. Deslaving.
Fixed wing.
Negative
7 o'clock.
contact.
Searching. Fixed wing. 7 o'clock. Searching. Fixed
Scanning.
wing. 7
Okay, I
o'clock.
can let him get a bit
Searching.
closer and then we'll do that again. We are pretty close to the front line as well here. We don't want to be flying up too high or we'll get engaged by a surface to air missile or 3. They should be at the end of that lake
Rolling.
up there.
6 o'clock. Searching.
Slaving. Deslave. I'm not seeing anything.
They'll be hidden by trees, that's the trouble. So a 19k's out is feasible. That I can see
Slaving.
stuff from
Deslave.
here. I can't engage till 8k
No
away.
targets detected.
Sort of a shame.
Fixed wing. 9 o'clock. Searching.
So I've got to wait for my target distance to close to 8k before I can actually launch anything, but George can usually see stuff from a good 20k out. Just keep refreshing that line of sight search.
Negative
Fixed
contact.
wing. 7 o'clock. Searching.
I'm not seeing nothing.
Fixed wing. 7 o'clock. Searching.
Roger. Deslaving. I'm not seeing anything.
Gun. 6 o'clock. Searching.
So we're just in the bend of that river.
Fixed wing. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Just going to drop the altitude a bit quick.
Scanning with TADS.
I'll let him scan because it could be that the targets have actually moved from the original point. They're definitely on the map up there. Yes, this map was it's been done by Orbex, which is they mainly do stuff for Microsoft Flight Sim, which is something that me and Captain Hook have been flying a hell of a lot in the past. And to be fair, it's a big map. A lot of people don't like that stuff looks the same all over the place, but that's how it is. You know what I mean? You're mainly looking for accuracy of terrain elevation more than kind of stuff in the map. I mean, these trees are pretty cool looking, and when I get low to them, they will start getting blown about. It should be there somewhere.
Roger. Slave. D-slave. No targets detected. Scanning with TADS.
There's something here.
Contact. Ground units.
Got him. Knew they were there.
Target acquired. Target in range.
Rifle.
Firing.
Rifle. Yeah, they were hidden by the hill.
Searching. Gun.
So we'll get the elevation up a little bit just so I can shoot down onto them a little bit more.
10 o'clock. Searching. Gun. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Want to go too much. About 1,000-ish feet will do. Countermeasures are now going to auto. There's a man pad down there. Do another search. Yeah, we're picking up a few more now.
Target.
They're going to
Laser
scatter.
on. Firing.
See the smoke.
Slowing to the next target. Firing.
Rifle.
Fixed wing. 9 o'clock.
Rifle. Pickle. Trifle. Viennetta.
Laser. Target destroyed.
I'll do another search, see if we're picking up anything else.
Negative contact.
I think it was more there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, one of those missiles took out multiple. They were clustered together. I think one of the infantry was quite close to one of the tanks, so he got blasted, and that took out that tank as well. Okay, another thing I can do with this is if I turn up the blur,
Fixed wing.
which is the
8
forward
o'clock.
looking
Searching.
infrared,
Fixed
I can
wing.
usually see
9
if there's
o'clock.
any more
Searching.
heat signatures out that way. I'm getting a good heat bounce off of the lake surfaces. I'm not seeing anything else there. I don't think they scattered. We're just going to check up in this area.
Roger. Deslaving. No targets detected.
Okay, and then we'll check the bridge as well. They may have gone the other side of the bridge.
Slaving. Deslaving.
Fixed wing.
No targets
8 o'clock.
detected.
Searching.
I am seeing something.
Deslave. No targets detected.
Cool, okay, so RTB.
Fixed wing. 9 o'clock. Searching.
Near the trim.
Fixed
Lose
wing.
some altitude
1
as
o'clock.
well.
Searching.
So I need to go back to waypoint 23. So in fact, I'll do this on the big screen. But I need to get out of pan mode, don't I? That might help. So we'll unfreeze that, center that,
Fan. 12 o'clock.
come
Searching.
out of pan mode. In fact, I'll do this on mode 1. Okay, so we're going to go map, orient, track up again, so I can see actually which way I'm flying. There we go. So I can either follow that green line back to the base, or I can set go route, and hopefully we've got waypoint 23 stored. Click, 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 21, 22, 23, so then we go
Gun. 2 o'clock.
direct,
Gun. 2 o'clock. Searching.
23, so it's over that
Fixed
way.
wing. 1 o'clock. Searching.
So we'll come out of that.
Fixed wing. 5 o'clock. Searching.
Yeah, so the overall altitude of this area is, I'm at about 2,000 feet. Once I descend a little bit, it should pick up the actual altitude. So we're about 300 feet, 200 feet above sea level here, and I'm at about 1,000 feet above the ground. AGL. Right, so we get George slaved back to front
Copy.
again.
Ceasefire.
And then we'll set him off scanning on the way back. There shouldn't be any targets
Scanning.
between me and the airfield, but you never know. Yeah, so we're only like 10 minutes away from landing again. I don't think there's anything else in the area. Yeah, what I wanted to do was really get rid of those targets there, so we're good for kind of resupplying these farps down to the south. Because the last thing you want is to be flying a Chinook or C-130 and have a man pad jumping up at you. So yeah, I'm slowly learning the Apache. This is kind of my main aircraft at the minute. Say I'm about 50% on all the backseat stuff, 0% on the lunatic in the front's job role, but we'll get there. So I know a little bit about like the Chinook as well, but that's just like a flying bus, so there's not a lot of weapon systems on that other than the guys that are on it firing outwards, which you just set to fire at will and then they'll do what they want. Learning the auto hover and terrain avoidance systems on that is quite fun. Started dabbling into the FCR, which is the fire control radar on this, learning the different modes.
Gun. 12 o'clock. Searching.
I switch it to
12 o'clock. Searching.
these, not that one.
Fixed wing. 3 o'clock. Searching.
You can do a terrain mapping on this as well.
9 o'clock. Searching. Gun. 12 o'clock. Searching.
But I've only just started reading the books on that. I want to kind of learn one aircraft, but I end up getting diverted into different stuff for whatever the mission needs. Some of the time it's actually taking out targets in the Apache or
9 o'clock.
rescuing
Searching.
down pilots in the Chinook or the Huey. Huey's fun, that thing just rattles. You could have designed an aircraft to rattle anymore, I'd like to see it. It's like flying a tin can, that thing. But it is iconic. Got the Tomcat the other day, so that's going to be the air-to-air stuff. The Harrier is the one plane I really want to get into. Again, I bought that years ago, but shelved it because it was quite complicated and I'm thick as mince.
Searching.
So get rid of the FCR. It's one of those games where there is so much to learn, but you learn the minimum just to get you up and going, which is what I've pretty much done for a few aircraft, and then you kind of go back in and learn the main systems. Flying on the Iron Talon server is really helping because there's a lot of guys that are actual pilots. There's a couple of actual proper Air Force, American Air Force pilots. There's one guy I know of that is actually an Apache pilot, Colt, who has helped out a hell of a lot of stuff. He's not been on the server recently, or I haven't bumped into him, but there's always someone there to what's it, like -9 degrees outside. Holy moly, too cold.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, there's always someone on the server that is the kind of go-to guy for each individual aircraft, and there's always a couple of other people that are really kind of into it as well. Hook's been flying the Tomcat a hell of a lot, and he loves that thing.
Ground units detected.
That is ground units at the base, so we'll disregard that. But yeah, I mean, Iron Talon is probably one of the best servers I've come across for DCS.
Fixed wing. 12 o'clock. Searching.
With map rotation and map modes, and they do a lot of training that you don't have to do it. They'd like more people to do it, but that's all done by people that are pretty much ADHD on each individual airframe and know it in and out. This foothold PvE mode is fantastic for just kind of learning the aircraft in a not too kind of threatening environment. If you're a PvP, you'd be scooting about all over the place, but with this PvE setup, which is player versus environment, you can kind of take your time to learn different things, which is fantastic.
Sam. 10 o'clock. Searching.
So about 13k out. 4 minutes away. I'm not flying at full speed, I'm doing about 120, which is fair.
Aircraft sighted.
Fair game. Someone's taking off. Where is
Sam,
that?
9 o'clock. Searching.
He's looking off this way. Right, we'll
Laser on.
track that, but we'll turn him off. What are we looking at? That's a jet, that's one of ours.
Fixed wing. 2 o'clock. Searching. Fixed wing. 2 o'clock. Searching.
Lasers off.
F-14. What I don't want to do is laser him for too long because he'll think he's getting lasered up. Might have been... That's one of the AI. When I'm about 30 feet off the deck. Yeah, what I'm hoping to do in the future, once I've kind of got the basics down, is fly back seat for Captain Hook in the Tomcat. So he's going to be doing the Maverick bit, I'm going to be doing the Goose bit in the back. Although it is not easy flying back seat. We should be coming in straight on a runway, I think, which is kind of cool. What I'm going to do is probably land at the taxiing bit over there on the apron, and we'll power down, and then we'll have a look at the map and see where I can go and blow some more stuff up. There's an early warning radar up to the northwest which I want to take out,
Fixed wing.
but it's at 6,000 feet, give or take. Sat right on top of a frickin' mountain. Which the Apache doesn't like going up that high, especially with a full weapons load. How are we doing on fuel?
Rolling. 2 o'clock. Searching. Sam. 10 o'clock.
Okay, so the
Searching.
front tank's getting used, so we're going to
Patriot.
stick it on the
1
aft
o'clock.
tank.
Searching.
So now everything is going to be running some fuel in the aft tank because the front tank's getting a little bit low. Well, not low, but I want to balance it out a little bit. So yeah, the Apache has 2 fuel tanks, one front, one rear. I can decide which fuel tank I want the engines to run off. At the minute I've just set it to run off the aft tank to cook that down a little bit, because you've got 1,000 in the rear and 670 in the front.
10 o'clock. Searching.
There's a lot of detail on this map actually. I was quite surprised you've got a proper car park out there and everything. It doesn't seem to knacker the frame rate, which is what you'll find on some maps. They're so jam-packed full of stuff. I mean, look at the amount of trees. I mean, that's not impacting my frames at all. I run at full 60 FPS most of the time. I'm only running a 2080 Ti, so it is 1080p, but I've got it set to run upscale to 4K in the menu, which gives it a little bit more crispness to the graphics. A little less anti-aliasing issue, which I've got set to DLSS actually, so that's nice and smooth. But yeah, I just like the detail in the airfields. I mean, it's Orbex, so they're used to doing real world creations of stuff, which is nice.
Fixed wing, 12 o'clock, searching.
Gonna set her down. This is obviously a normal airport with terminals and stuff, but it's obviously been taken over by the military, as you do in times of war. I'll clear this a bit quick. Tell you what, this actually reminds me of the airfield in Goiânia, Brazil, which is a bit weird. Got exactly the same layout of terminal building, which is kind of strange. And the car park's in roughly the same spot as well.
12 o'clock, searching.
Okay, so we are slowly coming in for a landing, a bit wobbly. Getting ground effect now. Try and land on the 4 if I can. Bit in front of it. A bit. One crew down. Yeah, we're getting buffeted a little bit, so we're just going to set her down. Right on. I think I probably had the tail wheel in the 4. Yeah, got nearly 1,000 credits, and I've been promoted to Chief Master Sergeant, which is nice. You get a hell of a lot for picking up down pilots on this server go around. They tend to switch the
Roger, shutdown in progress.
shut George down. They tend to switch the point system around a little bit. Sometimes you won't get a lot for picking up down pilots. Sometimes you'll get quite a bit. It's a hard balance to sort out, to be fair. Right, so powering down. So we want to put the APU on.
Complete.
George is shut down in front. Get the APU up and running, just so it doesn't dump the power on the computers. Okay, so APU is on, so I can bring the engines back from light power to idle, which is these two things here. And then we're going to shut both engines down. The APU will keep the power up and running. Let the blade slow and stop. Put the brake in. Open up the canopy. Right, blades are off. You come off on the APU, that'll shut the power down. Battery will keep the communication system up and running. You can hear the engine cooling down. That's the power off. I'm just going to quickly jump into the front seat. So this is what the front seat's all about. You've got pretty much the same displays and controls as in the front, with the exception of this, which is the main kind of targeting pod. And this is the stuff I want to be learning. That's communications, the right and left MFDs, which I've got in the back, but this is obviously the other one. And this is all controlled by these two hand controllers on the front. And I've got the same input here. And normal flight stuff as well. So the co-pilot gunner can actually fly the helicopter as well. Set up. I haven't got the keys bound for it yet. I'm kind of leaving this alone until I know more about how to fly it. Yeah. So right, have a look at the map. So we're here at the moment, and we've just taken out those two or three targets down there. This is another emplacement protecting this airfield here. That's a fob, forward, or FARP, sorry. So all the red stuff is enemy. Got a MiG-21. About 16,000 feet. Heading this way. So unfortunately I've got nothing air to air at the minute. What I could do is probably go and take some of this stuff, but there's SA-19s, SA-15s. That is not be a one Apache job. I have to get within 8k. If I click on the SA-19, okay, so his range is this red ring here. If I click from him to there, so that's 4 mile. 4 mile range. The SA-15s have a 6 mile, so I'd have to pretty much be just outside that 7 nautical mile to not get smashed by him. And bear in mind, I can't launch anything over 8k. If I switch this to, yeah, so my range is there, and his range is there. So I'm a good couple of mile inside his range. That needs to be taken out by aircraft before I can get anywhere close. That's that early warning radar. Just sat up on that freaking mountain. How far away is that from 80k from there? $60k from there, so he's a good distance away from anything. Because the Apache flying in this sort of terrain, I mean, that airfield is at 510. He is at 2,000 feet. Oh yeah, 6,000 meters, 2,000 feet. No, 6,000 feet, 2,000 meters. The other way around. It's pretty much out of my scope as well. Down pilots. It's 32. The distances on this map are absolutely nuts. And it's not like some of the other maps. There's always something within a couple of K of where you are. But this, I mean, between here and here, that's 103 nautical miles. Might actually take the Harrier up, just have a fly around. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll get the Harrier out. We're going to take off from here, waypoint 1, and I'm just going to fly up and around here. Going north up the coast, northeast up the coast. Maybe have a quick look at that guy there, see what he's doing. He's definitely picked him up, because his range he's an AWACS. Okay. Select roll, select this. So I've got the A10 loaded up, the Apache, Harrier, C-130, which is good for cargo, CH-47, the F-14, which I'm just learning, the F-18, which is a good aircraft, but I prefer other stuff, and I've got the Gazelle as well. We're gonna go that one. We'll stick some air to air on it just in case. To be fair, if I get anywhere near any of this stuff, I'm going to be put a gun pod on. May take him out with guns. Okay, so we're spawn hot on that. I'm not gonna and doing a start up on that because it's been a while. Yeah, literally going to fly north up the coast, northeast. Maybe I could take out that thing with guns. I don't know. I'll certainly pick it up with my radar signature anyway. Wait for the terrain to load in. So my call sign is callback 1-1. Don't really want to be losing this aircraft, because it does take a lot of points off you. Right, so map, send that off. Master arm on. Put the blur on that one. So it's half this stuff. I ain't got a flipping clue what it does. Right, so I need to rebind the controls as well. So put the flaps in auto. Nose wheel steer is on. Set the nozzles to 35-ish. Yeah, this is absolutely a stunning aircraft, looks wise. Yeah, so we'll take off, head north. It should start picking up stuff if I get close enough to that early warning radar, which is off to the east somewhere. Okay, so
Caution, caution.
heart brake off. I'm not going to be light enough to do a vertical takeoff. I think the volume on this is a little bit low, so we'll turn that off. So you can actually hear what the Harrier's doing. It's got a nice growl when it comes off the power. What do I need to turn on? Turn off the position and anti-collision. So this is a nozzle control, that's a throttle control. All this sort of crap here is radars. This is internal lighting, which I'll turn up. There we go, we're starting to getting picked up on something. Right, I'm going to set that to night because it looks better. I'll leave that one on day, just bring the brightness down on that display a little bit. Okay, so countermeasures will set to receive and to up. The RWR is on. Let me just try, if I set this to, it might be too heavy. Give it a go. Set to V style. I'm not going to use the water injection unless I have to. Yeah, no, that's I am too heavy, as they say. And we do a dry takeoff as well. I don't like using water injection unless I absolutely have to. So even just moving the nozzles on idle power, it's moving it forward. So this is a hell of a powerful beast for being a non-afterburnered aircraft. Flaps back in auto. What's in a windsock? Don't know whether this is the correct way to take off. Bit of wind, but we're going to go for it anyway. All beans. This guy pretty much leaps off the runway, especially with the nozzles. Okay, so we are heading east, so we're just going to go north. Bring back power. Don't want to run it above 100% more than I need to. Bring the nozzles forward and switch to nav mode. So this is kind of the coastal area of the map. There's a lot more mountains over this way, and it kind of goes into a flat, more of a flat area over in the east of us. Yeah, I'm flying up this way. A nice airfield there. What I might do is just do a flyby on that early warning radar and see what's occurring. I don't think there's any missiles based at that early warning radar. I can see anyway. Another reason why I like the Harrier as well is I get a passive returns display, which is kind of, if you see all these little arrows that are pinging up, that's where the infrared is coming back off of a target, not a target, coming back off of something that's reflective. So when I get, or emitting infrared, that's either the sunlight bouncing off of something, or it's a bit of kit that's chucking out some IR signature of some sort, which is, to be fair, what I'm looking for with this radar system. We're basically going straight at it. That should come up. It's either the E3 or the S. Put the nozzles in full back and the flaps in cruise. I will download some liveries again for this because I want to be flying it a bit more. I think this is a lot of the Americans like the Tomcat. I think the British have the same kind of feeling for the Harrier that the Americans do for the Tomcat. It's kind of one of those Cold War iconic aircraft. Okay, something's pickling. We're going to go... which one is it? Yeah, so I think it's going to be that E3 straight on my nose is the issue. So master arm on. That's the gun. Gun is live. That little reticule there is what's where the gun is going to be landing, or where its aim point is. So zoom out on this map. Zoom, zoom, zooming. Where's the zoom? See, I've not flown this for a while, so it's all over the frickin' place. It's the waypoint. Map. I do have the manual for it. It's just one of those, another thing I've yet to learn. It's not fun. More this way. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a risk, but I want to take out that radar. I don't know what the radar is actually connected to, but put that on for a minute. Okay, so he should be on my nose at 60 mile 259. 078 60 mile. Well, I should pass just to the right of him. That's the air-to-air stuff. That's the sidewinders. Oh, sorry, air-to-ground stuff. This is the sidewinders. Yeah, Yeah, I've got my bloody controls are all over the place on this. I have to clear them all and start again. Be in trouble. I've got a Thrustmaster T16000, but it's runs out of buttons pretty quick. I need to figure out how to do a second function button on it. Yeah, I've got stuff all over the bloody place here. One. Yeah, gun's still live. What I'm hoping, I can get some more altitude.
Caution, caution.
Start making funny noises now. Get enough altitude, I'll dive down on him. When I get closer, I should start seeing a cluster of those little V's, cluster of these where he is, and that's going to be the aim point. I don't think anyone else is on the survey just yet, because it's an American-based one. They're all asleep. I think it's like 4 or 5 in the morning for them. Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot in this area. I know he's on a hilltop somewhere, mountain top. But where, I don't know. Should be just off to my left. Ah, Silly's on. Let me just get the communications up. Although it's not tuned in anyway, so it isn't really gonna matter. Comms check.
I got you loud and clear.
Hi, buddy. I'm just having a go at this early warning radar up to the northwest.
Yeah, I think we've done a few tries at it. Nobody seems to be able to knock it out.
Yeah, I thought I'd take up an unfamiliar aircraft with guns just to try and shoot it.
I mean, it's worth a try.
So it is 072 at 16k. Looking for a hilltop with a lot of V's on it. 070. He's the left hand side of that little lake. He's up here somewhere. He's on that ridge line. I think that's in there. That, yeah, I've got a static V. All beans.
Altitude.
Something blew up. Got him. Smoked him.
Very nice.
Caution. 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 Caution.
So I want to fly south now. Go back into nav mode. Use the hills as a bit of a cover. So I need to be flying. Go back 118 and we'll fly over to point 11. Waypoint. Okay, so that's waypoint 11 selected. So I should start seeing waypoint 11 coming in. I turn a little bit more. Yeah, I want to get more into this area. It's not a two-seater, unfortunately, which is why I got the Tomcat, so I can kind of learn that as well and do some stuff with El Capitan hook. Yeah, I need to be in 096 roughly. Yeah, that early warning radar has been bugging me for a couple of days on this. It seemed to be sat out there by itself and they knew exactly where we were when we were flying around. Should be coming into view pretty soon. Should see a round thing on the HUD. There she is. That's where the runway is. Okay, so we'll turn off the master arm. Hopefully I won't need that. How much fuel have I got? Total fuel 43. I think that might be enough to do a hopper. I can't remember the exact specs on it. Yeah, I managed to take out a helicopter with this last night, which was quite cool. I'm not quite good enough to go after other planes with it, or hit ground targets, other than with the gun. It's a learning process. This is the waypoint info, so that's waypoint 11, and we're 27, is it 27 miles? 27 kilometers, I think it's miles because we're British. Yeah, 27 miles ish. If I go to, what was the name of that airfield? No. So if I go to the knee board, I saw this crap. Karuna. Okay, so yeah, it's going that way. We'll do a flyover anyway, and we'll see what's occurring. All the startup procedures and stuff. Yeah, what a plane though, what a plane. I does like it, I does. Okay, so we'll get ourselves set up for landing, so we're going to want flaps in auto. What's bloody landing like? No, I think that's it. That's the landing gear switch. Slowing down a little bit. Switch to V style. We're at descending from 5,500 feet, doing 377 knots. The one on top is the altitude above sea level, and this one is the radar altitude, so that's the height above the ground, which is what I want to be paying attention to more. Cut the air brake out a little bit. I don't know which way the wind is blowing. Yeah, the runways just look like mud from this height. We'll keep that descent. We're doing 1,000 foot per minute descent. Yeah, so we're well under landing weight, which is good on fuel. Good, then we're getting them air-to-air missiles off, but I don't want to waste them really. $240 knots. Flaps are kicking in. Drop the gear, get a bit of drag. Nozzles are at 25, nearly 30, I think.
Altitude, altitude. 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 Altitude, altitude.
Not bad, not bad.
Caution,
Nose
caution.
wheel steer on. Taxi over to that hangar over there. And do a shutdown. Yeah, not bad. 600 points. 25 flight time and 1 ground target. Yeah, that early warning radar on the top of that hill was pretty much giving away the position of everything. I'm glad we took that out finally. Yeah. Still landed with all the tyres intact, which is nice. Little stuffer in the hangar. In fact, I don't want to piss off the ground crew, so we are going to turn around and reverse in. If I've got enough thrust to do it. Should have. Beep, 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 beep. That'll do, donkey. Do an auto shutdown because I haven't got the half the stuff mapped.
Caution, caution.
Yeah. Ground target down.
Flat failure. Flat.
Flat failure.
Caution, caution. Fuel control. Fuel limiter.
Right. I think that's as good a spot as any to end today's stream. It was quite a short one. Took out a few targets with the Apache. And actually got by the Harrier again after a while. And out a ground target with a gun, which is cool. We'll get some more skins for this because these are all the American Marine skins that it comes with. Get some British ones. Some snowy ones. It's nice and snowy outside. So yeah, thanks to anyone that's watched. Don't subscribe unless it's worth it. It would be nice to get a couple of likes at some point. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.